Muhammad Ali, a new champion. In 1964, the heavyweight boxing champ was Sonny Liston. He was so tough that some boxers were afraid to face him. No one expected his latest challenger, Cassius Clay, to win. While most boxers stood still and hit hard, Clay moved fast and threw quick punches. Before the fight, Clay wrote a poem about punching Liston so hard he would fly into the sky. Who on earth thought that when they came to the fight that they would witness launching a human satellite? Clay's insults made Liston so angry to control himself in the ring. Clay's nimble style let him dodge Liston's hardest swings while Clay wore him down with quick jabs. After 6 rounds, Liston called it quits. Cassius Clay became the heavyweight champion of the world, but his story was just beginning. Soon, he would challenge his name to Muhammad Ali and make that a name history will remember. Childhood. Ali was born Cassius Clay in 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky. His family was middle class, but the Clays had to deal with segregation in their daily lives. At that time, restaurants and stores in many places of the South refused to serve Black Americans. Angry mobs of white people sometimes attacked or even murdered Black people who dared to claim that they should be treated equally. When Cassius was 12, someone stole his bike. He told neighborhood police officer Joe Martin that he wanted to beat up the thief. Martin suggested that Cassius fight in the boxing ring instead. With Martin as his boxing coach, Cassius began training to win and won his first fight later that year. At 14, he won the beginner group of the Golden Gloves. It was the country's best-known amateur boxing tournament. Cassius's school sponsored boxing matches, as his principal started calling him next heavyweight champion of the world. Going for the gold, Clay was quickly becoming the best amateur boxer in America. At age 17, he won the Golden Gloves Championship and the Amateur Athlete Union's national title. The next year, he went to Italy for the 1916 Olympic Games in Rome. An 18-year-old had never flown before, was so scared that he brought to a parachute. But he wasn't scared in the ring. When he won the gold medal. After Rome, Clay started fighting for money and not just medals. As he won fight after fight, he began taunting his opponents with rhymes. Before he fought Jim Robinson, he said, "This guy must won. Sure enough, Clay knocked him out in the first round. Clay won 19 fights in a row before beating Liston and winning the title. Muhammad Ali. 2 years later, Clay had watched civil rights leader Malcolm X speak about Islam and had come away impressed. The two men became friends, and Malcolm acting as a mentor to Clay. By the time Clay claimed the heavyweight championship, his name was the most famous one in boxing. But he wasn't the name he wanted to be called anyone. Clay joined the religion of Islam and took the name of Islam's prophet. He told reporters, "Cassius Clay is a slave name. I didn't choose it, and I don't want it. I am Muhammad Ali, a free name. It means beloved of God, and I insist people use it when people speak of me and of me. Refusing to fight. In the mid-1960s, the United States was fighting a war in Vietnam, a country in Southeast Asia. The army refused drafting young men to fight, but Ali refused to join the army when he was called. War was against the teaching of his new religion. He also argued that he shouldn't fight for a country and didn't treat him as an equal citizen. Having experienced racism his whole life, Ali was ready to take a stand against him. He asked reporters, why should they ask me to drop bombs and bullets on brown people while so-called Negro people in Louisville are treated like dogs? Speaking out against both war and racism in America made Ali a hero to many people, but the boxing world didn't want his famous fighters stirring up trouble. The same day he was arrested for refusing to draft. Ali was stripped to the heavyweight title and banned from boxing. During his time away from boxing, Ali spoke at colleges about the war and civil rights movement. He became as well known for his moral arguments as he was for boxing. Giving up his career of his conscience won him respect, even from some people who disagreed with him. The comeback. After 3 years, Ali's court case for refusing the draft was still going on. In another case, a judge ruled that Ali to be allowed back in the ring. After 2 warmer fights, he challenged the new heavyweight champ, Joe Frazier, a top fighter who, like Ali, had never lost a match. Ali's challenge for the title was called Fight of the Century. The fight lived up to its name, but for Ali, it was the reserve of the Liston fight. His speed was no match for Frazier's strength. Frazier knocked Ali down several times. The judges awarded the match to Frazier. It was the first professional fight Ali had ever lost. 3 months after the loss, Ali won a more important victory. The Supreme Court ruled that he had a right to refuse to draft as a conscientious objector. The court said Ali deserved to have his beliefs respected like other Americans who objected to war for religious reasons. Ali's moral stand inspired Americans from all walks of life to stand up for their beliefs as well. 2 amazing fights. Ali continued fighting for 3 years before he got to fight Frazier again. He won, but by then Frazier was no longer champ. He lost the heavyweight title. He had lost the heavyweight title to George Foreman, a young, powerful new fighter. Ali challenged Foreman for the title of Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. In a fight called Rumble in the Jungle, Ali tried a new strategy, leaning against the ropes and blocking while Foreman tried himself out punching. Ali called this move rope-a-dope. Foreman fell into the trap and tired himself out, making it easier for Ali to knock him down. Muhammad Ali was the champ again. The following year, Frazier tried to win the title back from Ali in a fight held in Philippines called Trula in Manila. It was a tough fight that Ali described as the closest I've come to death. Frazier said, I hit him with punches that would have knocked a building down. In the 14th round, Ali threw everything he had at Frazier. He used the last of his strength to hit him. With a storm of punches, Frazier threw in the towel. Both men were so beaten up that Ali later said We went to Manila as champions, and we come back as old mans. Ali kept his title for another 2.5 years before he lost it to Leon Spinks. But he fought Spinks after a few months later and won, becoming the only boxer to win the heavyweight title crown 3 times. Ali didn't fight again for 3 years, and when he did, he lost the title for good to Larry Holmes. At 38, his long career in the ring came to an end. Retired but still fighting. After retiring from boxing, Ali traveled to the world speaking up for human rights. In 1984, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. This disease makes it hard for our brain to control the muscles, and his health declined. After it became difficult for Ali to speak, but in 1996 he returned to the Olympic Games to light the Olympic flame in Altana, Georgia. Ali clearly struggled to lift the torch, but as the crowd cheered, he held the flame afloat, a fighter to the end. In 2016, Muhammad Ali died at age 74. The once controversial champ had become universally beloved. President Obama praised his courage, saying Ali stood his ground, and his victory helped us get used to the American we recognize today. Ali wasn't just the greatest boxer who ever lived. He also helped change his country by fighting for what he believed in.